So Simon, you're off to Goodwood tomorrow.
We are.
What's that all about?
Well, I'm a Goodwood Road Racing Club member, and every year, one Sunday in August, they have a members open day at the house, which is an open day at Goodwood House where you can go around the state apartments. But of more interest to you and I is the fact that they have the annual car display. And you have to apply to display your car. And when we went last year, I thought, well, one year I'd like to display my car, but the last 2 years I've had the email back saying, we're terribly sorry your car's not been selected this year, but do still come to the event. And then lo and behold, this year I applied to put the Fulvia in, and I was delighted to get an email back from the GRRC organising people to say, congratulations, your car's been admitted. So I think it's in a display of something like 40 to 45 GRRC members' cars parked out the front of Goodwood House on the lawn and the gravel driveway. And then the Duke very kindly throws in lunch for 2 people in the Goodwood ballroom, which if you are a fellow from the north of England, is quite an event.
Good. So tell us a bit about the car. What makes it so special?
Well, I've always had an affinity for Lancia Fulvias because I used to go to school in one when I was a little boy, aged 3, 4, 5. And in those days there was very few of them on the road, and people used to look at it and ask what it was, and even then I realised it was a bit special because there was lots of photographs of it rallying in the Monte Carlo Rally, which it won in 1972. And I was already a petrol head at that age. I thought, well, one day I'll have a Fulvia. And then I'd looked at loads of them up and down the years, and eventually this one became available for sale. It had been restored in Germany, and then it had been put into storage without having turned a wheel. So though it was a restored car when I bought it 5-6 years ago, it basically needed recommissioning. So that probably took us a year or two, and now it's on the road, and dare I say it, touch the wood of the steering wheel, reasonably reliable. It's just driven over here from Somerset with no issues, and did the same a couple of weeks ago when we went to the Goodwood Road Racing Club members weekend. And it's a 1967 Lancia Fulvia Rallye 1.3, and the Rallye bit basically means it's a 1.3 instead of the 1.2, which the Series 1 Fulvia Coupe started with in 65. Then in 67 came the Rallye S, and the HF 1600, which was the real performance model. And what I like about it is it's a very pretty car. It's beautifully engineered, and because it was built before the Fiat takeover of Lancia, there are so many things in this car which are slightly quirky or slightly over-engineered, and that's probably one of the reasons why Lancia went bust and ended up having to be rescued. They spent too much money on a car, but when this car was new, it cost more than an E-Type Jaguar. So that was a big ask, so that's why they didn't sell thousands in the UK, I think. But I've always loved them, and they drive brilliantly. They're brilliantly engineered. And I think it's a very pretty car, and there's more powerful cars, there's cars that handle better, but just because of the nostalgia of having had one when I was a boy, I absolutely love it.
It's got a lovely layout, and I mean visibility. You've got all round. It's glass everywhere. It's great.
It's small and agile, really easy to place on the road. And you look around, and the fact that you haven't got a wing mirror on that door doesn't really matter, because you just turn your head very slightly. You can see everything out of the back and front, and there's no, my modern car's got really thick pillars and you can't quite see out the back, and that must be why it's got a reversing camera fitted, because you can't see out of it. But with this, it's so easy to drive.
Yeah, I know what you mean. So what do you think makes a Lancia driver so special?
I think Lancia drivers are probably all genuine car enthusiasts, otherwise they probably wouldn't have gravitated towards Lancia. They're a little bit different. I've had Fiats and Alfas, and you see a lot of Fiats and Alfas, you see fewer Lancias. But I think the fact that Lancia have been such innovators in the history of motoring, I think they were the first car to introduce a monocoque chassis. I think somebody's going to tell me if I'm wrong now. I think they were the first to introduce a V6 engine, and these cars were just so beautifully made and over-engineered right through to the late 60s. And even then, you know, they've got such a motorsport pedigree as well. The Fulvia Monte Carlo Rally, Stratos, and then the Delta Integrales. I think they won the World Rally Championship 10 or 12 times or something.
Of course.
And cars raced in competition at Sebring. And racing. I think Sterling Moss raced one in the 84-hour Nürburgring race, and his sister Pat rallied one.
Wow.
So sorry, I've gone off the subject, but I think that gives you an inkling of the enthusiasm that Lancia owners have for the marque and for their cars.
Wow, that's great. Thank you, Simon. Good luck tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
And maybe we'll see you again in the future.
You certainly will. Pleasure to see you. Thanks,
Thank you,
Kevin.
Simon. Cheers.